This is Gerald Johan van Waassen, the educational channel, related with the book Sounding Form, also in 2 volumes, The Development of the Word and the Application of the Word. The book is about the meaning of letters, of sounds combined with letters, and then how they can be found in words as combinations of letters and sounds which are meaningful, meaning that every choice of letters and sounds is deliberately correct. It is correct when you can analyze this. There's a method which is a natural order that we follow by when we choose letters in the first place. You could say like this can't be because we don't deliberately choose this. It is true, but we also don't deliberately follow the rules of mathematics, the rules of numbers, but there are also rules for letters and sounds and how we can remember them well, how we can associate them well. And if we do this correctly, it will be remembered and associated more easily, even if we don't recognize the full method. But the full method is discovered now, so let's give you some examples. I said already I will give you some, the last video I said there will be a couple of new videos with the words plank, bank, tank, and then I also added thanks as an extra word, sorry. The last one is the most difficult one, but okay, I always improvise and it might be a challenge for myself as well, but I go for it. So this is a T position. It is a position, so it is not an object, which makes it also you have to focus on the letter as a position of and this position has a certain meaning. So you have a distinction a little bit away from the center, and there you notice a certain feature, something that you think is important. It is about, it is always about a usable feature that is your starting point with the T. The A, I will put the A around it because this is my center point of vision where I will start from. So I will start from a functional thing. That is already clear with T and A. Ta means functional thing. That is already the next step. Then I will have N. So the N is then a content. So I will have a functional thing which will have or will use a content for it. And you will end with K. So this K is breaking apart, is breaking it or changing it. So it will be a change of content in a way if I simply add all the letters. But I also hear it as tank. It is also because the N and K combination of a content with breaking the rules, breaking the content. It cannot be simply like you cannot just break content. You have to have an interactions a little bit to do so. So it can be in 2 ways. As you can the as you had in the last video also was an interaction field where there's an interchange. So that is automatically always done. So that makes it easy so that the K will also go in 2 directions. So there will be an interchange of what I already said. So you can describe it as a kind of loading in of a content and loading out of a content. So let us now just compare it with the words that have this meaning, the tank. I know 2 completely different words, which is the tank, the army tank, which I can describe like this, which doesn't really fit, but just let's imagine it and compare it this time deliberately. We can also recognize of a loading in, a loading out, loading in, braking and loading out. Also with the normal tank, which the second meaning of tank is a container. Also, this container is not to keep things in it. The content is not to keep in it. It's an interaction. You do something in it, you do something out of it. That's the tank. You have to tank. It's for a constant interaction. I don't know if it words is as a verb exists in English, but it exists in Dutch. Tanking. We say it as a verb. It is really we take something out, and it's always available. It's always available. It's always about the interaction. So put it in, put it out. That's what the tank is about. That was the word for this video. But I had an additional word which I think, okay, people will automatically think and associate tanks, and they will ask, for themselves, we know now tank, okay, that's recognizable, but I don't know how you could impossibly have thanks as an association that starts from here. Okay, so I will take the challenge and I will take the word thanks as well. So let's start again from T, but this time there's an H there as well. H and with the A as well. The H is the a space in between, but it is an interactive field of communication, especially with A. It's our focus will be the field of intercommunication of a functional thing or something that we think that has a good function. We will use that as a basis. With the K, it will be more difficult. It is an abstract word, so there will be also here there will be an interchange as well to within a structure of a let's say life-giving structure, even in the space and air that it has, and there is an extra letter there as well, which is the S, but also X. So it is at the edge of what we do. So the X is always it's like the S is the interaction, but the X is the effect, the outer effect what something will have. So the last effect, which is almost not clear what to do with it yet. So that's the X, and the X is always quite complicated to draw. So yes, I have an abstract drawing which is hardly visible what it is. So I almost have to explain it. Okay, and I will do that. There's nothing else that I can do. I can almost be having doubts like, why did I choose this word? But I have to explain it. So I will go to the letters separately. Have the distinction. So that's my choice. That's something I think is interesting or even usable. That's always used for the T. I have this, I associate this within a field to communicate and to connect the H. So these are the stimulating conditions that I will search for it. The A in the middle will be like, okay, this will be my focus. So my focus will be where it will be vivid, where I think that this, what I think is usable, will be even more alive and vivid and useful. So then with the N I will have a content in it, which I of course will meaningful content, of course, which there will be an interactive change and effect. And this is more or less what is happening there, just like the tank. So there's a different thing with the tank. Thanks. There is, of course, a little bit extra there. There's this interactive field from what I think is important, and the effect of it is much more important. So there is, of course, just like the tank, the releasing and the receiving. This interaction is there as well, but the field of focus is much more on the interaction action itself, And the H is always like it looks for the interaction which makes the things more vivid, more interactive, much more as to its maximum effect. And the S or X at the end, that's the effect that it will also provide. So thanks is nothing more than saying like there has been an interaction of something which I found useful, and thanks to this usefulness which had an interaction, I notice its effect, and I with the H's almost I will even yeah, it's like a life-giving thanks, almost like this to this effect of interaction. Of course, it's an abstract word. It's not the best word to start with, especially not when you build up letters and so on, but it is doable. As you combine the letters, if you understand them well, and you see how they interact, it becomes clear quite easily what it means. Okay, this was Gerald Johan van Was again. I hope you enjoyed. This was an extra addition to the sound in form, or to the theoretical book, The Development of the Word, also available at Trafford and some distribution channels. Thanks for watching again. This was Gerald Johan van Was. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like, and there's a website as well which is updated just now and then.